This is Deer Hunter Classic. This is one of the last games that I worked on prior to joining Undead Labs. Viewer Awesome Twitch Dude requested that I play this after I, gave a little bit of my career history and mentioned that I had worked on this. Now, when I worked on it, it was called Deer Hunter 2014. They've updated it many times, and they've even changed the title because they came out with Deer Hunter 2018 around the same time that we came out with State of Decay 2. And so they wanted to, give the old game a little bit of, pizzazz, make it sound, instead of making it sound dated by calling it 2014, they call it classic, because that just makes it sound better. But it is still the same basic game. And what you're going to see here is, this is like a classic mobile game. In fact, the structure of this game was built around CSR racing. That was sort of the inspiration. And what CSR racing did that a lot of people in the mobile industry really paid attention to was they created a game that had a really clear sort of loop shape to it. Like you would, basically, if you just kept hammering the button in the lower right-hand corner, you would keep progressing through multiple rounds of the game. And so it made it really easy to just go round after round after round and to continuously play the game. And that's the kind of behavior that mobile developers are often going for, is they want a game that players can just sit there and kill time with indefinitely. So Deer Hunter Classic, the main contribution that I made to this game was sort of planning out that structure early on. I actually left the team long before the game was done. And so it was finished by other designers, including Undead Labs designer Brian Giammi. He actually came in after I left, and he finished a lot of the design of the game. In fact, he was responsible for a lot of the weapon tuning and stuff like that. He's an expert in that kind of game design. Balancing huge spreadsheets of numbers is kind of his deal. And so that was the kind of work that really needed to be done well on Deer Hunter Classic. And so everything good about the way that this game works on that score, really we owe to Brian Giammi, and has nothing to do with me. Oh wow, it looks like we've got a bunch of people with ShadowTech G has fired a bunch of hearts at me. Thank you, ShadowTech G, I appreciate it. Okay, so let's get started. So play, it's the button in the lower right hand corner. We're gonna hit that. And okay, so killing one white-tailed deer is my first assignment. I'm gonna get $200 for that. Well, that is a very expensive deer. Okay, so move side to side. So, oh, there is the buck. Let's drag our finger to point at this deer. We're going to take aim by pressing that button. And once we are, now I think, okay, so we can zoom in and out like this. And you want to hit the deer in the heart. Hitting them in the head actually messes up your trophy. So you want to aim at the heart. I think the heart is around there somewhere. There we go. Slow motion deer murder. That's what this game's all about. So we've killed one white-tailed deer. Awesome. We got $205. I think the $5. Oh, I hit it in the lungs. I didn't hit it in the heart, but I hit it in the lungs. So, that's one of the valid targets. All right, so we can play to unlock new animals and objectives. So we're on the hunting series now. So I can hit go hunt, and that costs me 1 energy. Let's see, let's move my head. It looks like I can be here without blocking too much of the UI. So you can see up top, I've got 10 out of 10 energy. This is a game that has an energy mechanic. That's one of the classic methods that mobile games use to try to make money. Is basically they'll make a game that is really easy to just keep playing again and again and again, round after round after round. But the rounds, if you want to do a whole bunch of them in a row, they cost money. Now, you can always just play in short doses and come back. And the thing that's kind of fun about energy systems, is the fact that they actually kind of work 2 different ways. On one score, like if you want to continuously play the game for a long time, then you can pony up money to buy more energy, and that makes money for the game. If you don't, the other way to feel like you're clever as a player by avoiding the cost is to basically, you play 10 energy worth of game, then you wait, then you come back later on and you play another 10 energy, let the energy recharge. But that also plays into the desires of the developer, because they want you to make appointments to play this game. They want you to play this game every single day on a regular rotation and make it a habit as a part of your life. And so coming back, thinking about the energy and coming back when the energy is charged up again also plays into what they want from you, because if you make the game into a habit, you are again more likely to spend money, not on energy, but on other things that you care about that are part of the game. So energy systems the reason they're so popular in like at least old school mobile games like this is because no matter what you do with it, it still plays into what the developers want you to do. Brian Menard says, me with Clash Royale. This is basically, the kind of thing that you'll notice tons of the most successful mobile games do this kind of thing. I'm actually really grateful that I work on a game that doesn't have to use these kinds of mechanics because, not because I necessarily find them, like, immoral. There are people who definitely see this kind of mechanic immoral. I see it's in kind of a gray area for me where I'm like, if you know what you're getting into as a player, you can decide how much you want to engage with mechanics like this. And I think there's definitely room to treat this as like just one more way that a game can make money. But it's also it's a boring problem to solve. Like for me as a game designer, I like solving problems that are more about sort of the player fantasy, the creative experience, and trying to solve problems like this that are much more like mechanical and like algorithm driven, like just trying to figure out, okay, well, if you watching your analytics, if players do this and I need to respond this way, that kind of like robotic development is just kind of not the way I like to think. There are people who love those kinds of challenges, and they're ideal for working in this part of the industry. But for me, I was really happy when I got to work in Undead Labs, which, the problems that I'm solving there are much more the ones that appeal to me. So, I was happy to be making this kind of game when I was making it because I was working in the game industry. I mean, like, that by itself was amazing, and I was always grateful for that, and I never resented it, But I am happy, where I'm working now. It feels it's much more up my alley. So anyway, I'm sitting here wasting a bunch of time. We could be murdering deer. Why are we not murdering deer? Okay, so here's a blacktail buck. So let's begin. Okay, consumables help give you an edge during the hunt. So I guess they want me to use a sports drink, huh? All right. So I can deal double damage, or I can slow down time. Do I have to, though? Maybe I don't want to. How do you feel about that? Okay, so I need to kill one blacktail buck, but we've got multiple bucks available. So let's zoom in on this distant one first. Oh, I'm so unsteady. Okay. The audio is off. The audio has always been off, and it's maddening. Okay. Oh, so I killed the one. Okay, so there have been previous versions that allowed you to kill extra animals. Oh, I think that sometimes they ask you to kill multiple animals, and then you have to try to take shots at the animals while they flee after you've alerted them by shooting the first one. So I thought I was going to get to do that here, but I did not get to. So, okay, I've leveled up. I've earned some hard currency and nothing to spend it on. That's fine. Okay, next. So again, you notice all I need to do is just keep hitting the button in the lower right-hand corner to continue playing the game. It just keeps on going. Oh, wait. Oh, wait, this mission's gonna be challenging. I've got the wrong gun. The recommended gear, it's a different rifle. Let's go upgrade our rifle. Okay, so it's gonna cost me 230 bucks. I've earned 230 bucks, so we can upgrade the weapon. Let's hit that upgrade button. Ooh, we've slapped a new brake on the end of it. Cool. Okay, now we're ready to hunt. See, so we get you into this sort of routine where you're just upgrading your weapons, and basically it's a little bit less about your hunting skill and a little bit more about whether you've bought the gun, because trying to hit this deer twice, like if the gun you have does not kill the deer on the very first shot, trying to hit the deer again after you've let it go can be really rough. Oh, body shot. Not as good. But you'll notice that I think I only earned $5 extra when I got that lung shot before. So you'll notice like the variance between like skill versus just persistence in this game. Persistence earns you the big money. So you don't actually have to be good at the game to earn the major money that is used to progress the game. You, like the amount of, like when you have skill and you go for a lung shot or a heart shot, that earns you a pittance on top of the normal thing. So they want you to make you feel rewarded for being a good shot, but they don't want anybody to feel like if they're not good at this game, they shouldn't play it. They want everyone to feel like they should play this game. So Brian Menard asks, so did you do a super amount of research on deer, like you have on names and cultures in State of Decay 2? I actually did do a lot of research into like, various animals that could be hunted, ungulates, basically. As you progress in this game, you start in North America, but you go all over the place, and figuring out what are the interesting animals to hunt, and what animals could be used for, like, rare boss animals, was kind of interesting. Like, I did a bunch of research that led to, you know, I was like, can we put a unicorn in this game? Can you murder a unicorn? And I did research into unicorns, and there was one theory that the legend of the unicorn was actually, it might have been people seeing, like, ibexes from afar, and sort of not realizing, like, you know, because they have this really strong profile with really dominant horns, that seeing them from afar, somebody might have thought they were seeing horses with enormous spikes coming out of their heads. And so I think one of the bosses in this game is a one-horned ibex, like an ibex with one of its horns broken off, and it's called the unicorn, I think, if I remember it correctly. So yeah, there was a lot of research that I did. There was a lot of fun figuring out who your animal victims ought to be. Okay, next. So again, just keep hammering the button in the lower right corner. Experience the hunt with new weapons. Okay, it looks like we've got new recommended gear again. A shotgun with 200 power is recommended. Okay, so they've given me a bunch of money so that I can afford definitely to buy this shotgun. So yeah, this shotgun costs thousands of dollars. So we're going to purchase it and equip it as our secondary weapon. Okay, cool. So I'm not actually learning how this interface works. I'm just tapping each thing that they highlight. And unfortunately, that means that later on, I'm going to have to figure out for real how to actually navigate this UI. Because, you know, when you make it a little bit too easy by only highlighting one button at a time, it actually can be difficult for players to figure out where they're going. One thing I do appreciate is that at least they're pointing these, like, tooltips at buttons, but leaving everything else open. Some games will just darken everything so you only see the button you can hit, which means you lose the context. You actually don't get good at recognizing and understanding the UI. Anyway, let's go hunt again. So three white-tailed deer. This is going to be tough. Or tougher, anyway. So my primary weapon is equipped. Let's swap it to my secondary. So where are these deer? Okay. Here they go. There we go. So the deer just charge at you sometimes. You just gotta kill them point blank range. So it does feel like I've got an audio delay going on here, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if the audio delay is actually built into the game is having a problem, or if it's because I'm going through this elaborate process to, like, hook it up to my capture card and stuff. So sorry that my gunshots are off. I do feel like I remember the gunshots sometimes being off just when I'm playing the game natively without trying to stream it. So I'm not sure if that's what's going on there. All right, I guess we'll just keep hitting that button in the lower right-hand corner. Wow, that's just so easy to keep playing. And we're going to begin. Ooh, a wolf. Where is the wolf? So a big part of the challenge of this game is, like, it's like a hidden picture game. Like, oh, wait, there he is. How these? There are two wolves and, like, they were really close. So apparently, no, I'm just an idiot. Oh crap! Oh crap! Predator alerted. Oh, phew. All right, yeah. So predators are fun to fight because they charge at you and try to murder you, and you have to kill them before they, like, bite your jugular. Okay, I've leveled up again. So each time I level up, you'll notice I refill my energy. So I'm using energy each time I start a hunt, but the leveling up fills up my energy again. That's very, very conscious because early on you level up really rapidly. This is a classic, like, exponential leveling scheme where, like, you're just leveling really, really frequently at the beginning, and then later on it slows down. And so when you're a brand new player to the game, energy just isn't an issue. Like, you can just play and play and play and play and really get used to the idea that you can just play this game all you want. And it's only later on, when you're not getting those constant refreshes to your energy by leveling up, when you then, you know, your habits become, oh, if I want to keep playing it the same way, I got to start paying for it. All right, so next. And we'll keep going. 3 white-tailed deer. Oh, but this is not, or is this one of the ones where they're charging at me? Oh, this is one of the ones where they're charging across. Heart shot! Yes. There we go. So it's kind of fun. So for the soundtrack of this game, I recommended that the composer listen to some of the music from that Jesper Kyd made for I think it was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. There was a really good like chase music theme from that particular game that I listened to all the time, and it had exactly the right sort of vibe. And so I played that, shared that with the composer for this game, and they sort of use that as a starting point. So it's actually kind of funny that this is a kind of a Jesper Kyd inspired soundtrack, and of course now I work on State of Decay, which also has Jesper Kyd as its composer. Gonna keep on hunting. Oh wait. It says that it recommends infrared. Ooh, okay, so infrared's kind of fun. You basically get to look and you can find, so you can find body parts of the animals inside their bodies. So now I've got to kill a white-tailed deer with a lung shot. So, okay, so you can tap infrared, but it has a limited battery life. So you've got a limited time to make your shot. Let's hope that counted. Yes, lung shot. Oh, poor little stumbly deer. Jedi side tricks, yeah, I think that's how it works. So I think that I probably actually knew that I had got the lung shot successfully when it did the slow motion, because I think it only does the slow motion when you successfully make the final kill. So it calculates that first before tracing the path of the bullet. PvP unlocked. Okay, so that is a feature that they've added long after I wasn't on the team. I didn't even realize PvP was a thing. And also, is it a little weird that like there are no characters in this game. Like it's just you and the deer. But for some reason, there's this woman. like it's like, hey, PvP's unlocked. Also, here's a lady. Like, what? No thanks. But you see that in mobile games all the time. They'll just slap a lady on something because they think, well, the audience we're going for is mostly male, and they'll just tap anything that has a lady on it. And I'm like, really? Also, yeah, that's probably true, but also, really? Like, I'm a little disappointed both in the developers and in the players who make that true. But whatever. Okay, let's keep hunting. Ooh, oh, wait a minute. I need a rifle with 84 power. Let's look at our upgrade situation here. Okay, so I've got $500 to upgrade this thing. Oh, so now it's got internal electroplating. This was also research we had to do. Like, what stuff can you do to a gun to make it better? So we can come up with arbitrary names for these things, like internal electroplating. Okay, so I could try to upgrade it again, and notice that it tells me the upgrade button is shiny. It's not, in most normal games, if you can't afford something, we disable the button that lets you buy it. This leaves the button up. If I tap it, oh, you should spend some money on some currency. I'm like, no, I'm not going to spend $100 on currency, thank you. But, okay, but now I've got a powerful enough gun, so we're going to go hunt. So we're looking, ooh, California Bighorn. Let's do this. So I need to kill 2 California Bighorns. So I'm going to shoot at one of them, and the other one is going to take off. See if we can pull this off. Infrared. Heart shot. And then swap guns. And we're going to cluster that guy. Oh, also got a lung shot. Nice. So that deer was alerted. It was good, or whatever it is, sheep, was alerted. So it was going to take off, but I got it a little bit early. Ah, and so here is an attempt to load an external ad. Here we go. Stay up to date on Deer Hunter. Register now. No, I'm good. Level up. Boink. There we go. Next. All right. Yeah, looks like we're good. Got all the recommended gear. Let's go hunt. Aim for the lungs. Kill 1 bighorn sheep with a lung shot. Well, since I already got one with a heart shot, this does not seem like it's going to be hard. So they are a little farther away. Let's grab one that is holding as still as possible. Ooh. Did that work? Yes, it did, because we got a slow-mo shot. Boom! Meh! Oh man, the research the audio team had to do into the death cries of animals. Apparently, they couldn't do some of them because they sound so inhuman and horrible. They had to do fake death noises. I think that's true. I hope I didn't make that up. It's been so long. It's like I worked on this ages ago, so it's been a long time. But I'm pretty sure that I remember an anecdote from an audio person saying they looked into what these animals actually sound like when they're dying, and it's so inhuman and miserable that they just couldn't put them in the game. They had to come up with their own. Mosertrack says, so is this how EA thinks about their loot box drops? Love hearing the inside story behind this thought process. Yeah, so it's interesting because, yeah, it's like one of the reasons why I'm really glad that we're on Game Pass with State of Decay, and we're supporting it with continuous free updates while people, and it's being paid for by the fact that people are subscribed to Game Pass. I really like that because it means, with a subscription model, people, as long as they like the game, they just keep paying the subscription and they keep, playing the game. And that means the kinds of changes you make to the game are all centered around making people like the game more and making them want to stick around and play it more, which is, a good motivation. It usually helps you come up with exciting things that players actually want to do. When your model is all about trying to get players to make specific choices inside the game in order for the game to make money, that it means that all of your gameplay decisions have to be geared around that in order for the game to be viable. And it sort of creeps into the way that you design the game, and it makes, like I said, like I'm the kind of person who I don't like thinking about that kind of stuff. I'd much rather just go whole hog, deep dive into the sort of creative, fantastical experience of a game. And so having those other influences where the decisions I make have to be about the money and they can't be just about the creative experience, it creeps in and it kind of can make just the game development process a lot less fun, unless that's the kind of problem that you enjoy solving. And so I think, in an ideal world, all of these different kinds of games can exist, and just the right people need to be developing them, the people who are actually interested in solving those problems. But yeah, so it does mean that, any game that's got this kind of monetization where, it's about trying to encourage players to buy in-game stuff, it does end up sort of creeping into the into the mechanics of the game, and people who normally would not want to be thinking about money have to think about money, and so that can be uncomfortable. And so yeah, I'm really glad that that right now I'm working on a game that doesn't do this, because this is not my kind of thing. Okay, so we got a trophy hunt. So complete trophy hunts to unlock new regions. So right now we're in the Pacific Northwest, but that's not the only place we can be. So this costs 2 energy, but it's one of our fancy boss deer. Ooh, wait. A rifle with 6 max zoom is required. Well, let's see. Can we afford that? Let's upgrade that. Here we go. Got a fancy zoom now. Okay, so now looking at the way this works, so I can look at the muzzle, ammo, barrel. Oh, wait, no, I don't want to do that. Stop it. No, okay, I've got rifle blueprints apparently. I was not trying to get into that. Let's not work. Wait, what? Tier up? Sure. I don't know what's going on. I hit that button by accident. Okay, so I think what this means is I've unlocked a bunch of new rifles and or fancy new upgrades for the rifles I've got. But yeah, okay, so anyway, there's all these different ways you can upgrade the rifles, which honestly, like, the reason we went with this, partly, we knew that we needed some kind of weapon upgrade in order to, sort of like let the player play that game where you're sort of keeping pace with the levels, and you got to constantly spend money to keep up with, what you're capable of doing in the game. And playing the game with an underpowered rifle is actually kind of fun. Like, trying to make it work anyway can be kind of a challenge, but it very quickly just gets punishing and not fun. They really want you to be spending the money on the upgrades. But we specifically went for upgrading the weapons piecemeal because we thought the audience for Deer Hunter includes a lot of people who really love customizing weapons. Like, that's a thing that culture of people is really into. And so we didn't want it to just be buy a new gun, buy a new gun, buy a new gun. Having more incremental improvements. For one thing, gives us more opportunities to like have you, spend money and get used to the habit of like spending money on these upgrades. But it also means that it kind of leans into more of the player fantasy. The player fantasy is to be somebody who, you want to sort of cast yourself as somebody who really understands guns and who really understands hunting. So doing things like getting a lung shot on a deer, that takes a lot of knowledge of anatomy and a lot of skill as a hunter to get that kind of thing to happen. And similarly, you get to, sort of act like you're, fantasize about being somebody who really understands the mechanics of a gun and how to maintain it and put it together. And so all of this is about sort of servicing this player fantasy of being a certain kind of person. It's not just about the activity, it's sort of like envisioning yourself as a certain kind of person with a certain kind of skill, a certain kind of expertise. And that's what people go for. I think that, a lot of games don't necessarily understand to what degree that sort of that matters. The idea of like who the player is casting themselves as, like that really makes a difference to how somebody invests in a game and invests in their own, progression in a game. Has to do with sort of like who they are in that world. State of Decay thinks about that a lot too. There's a certain kind of person you want to imagine yourself being in the zombie apocalypse, and the problems we have you solving are the kinds of problems you think that person would be good at solving. So, okay, let's do this trophy hunt. So it's the white stag. There's 5 different boss animals in every level. That once you've killed them all, then you can move on to the next area. So we're gonna aim for the heart. We got to get a heart shot on the boss animals. So it's an albino stag, and it is hiding behind a tree. Luckily, I can move over here. I can zoom in real close. Looks like it's not moving right now. Infrared, and then heart shot. So not the most challenging, but what the game is trying to do right now is get you used to the feeling of being successful. And then over time, they're going to make it more and more difficult, and maintaining that same level of success is going to take more effort. So, okay, look at this. So they're only charging me $1 for a discounted amount for this gold. This is a really common strategy. Basically, when a player is brand new to the game, you throw a bunch of heavily discounted deals at them. Again, like to sort of get them to sort of break that barrier where they've bought something for the game one time, and that makes them more likely to spend money on the game in the future. And so it kind of doesn't matter. Like they're willing to throw scads of stuff at you at the beginning. And actually, some of the best deals you can get in these games, if you do care about a particular game, is the ones that they throw at you right up front. Because all they want you to do is like, if you just spend any money on this, then you've sort of broken that barrier, and you're sort of, a new category of player for us. So we really, really want to get you to do it. So they will throw all kinds of stuff at you. Like, this is a one-time offer. I won't be able to get this ever again. This sort of, I think it's 50 gold. The problem is I don't actually know what 50 gold can buy. And so for me as a player, like this particular screen isn't doing a great job of selling this to me because I don't know what 50 gold is worth. And so if I had a sense of that already, like if I had, for instance, been walked through the process of spending gold, like if they gave me some free gold and then had me spend it on something and gave me a sense of what the value of gold was, this might be more attractive to me. But because it's coming in now, before I've had the opportunity to spend any gold, I don't know what 50 gold is. 50 gold could be nothing. It could be a lot. I don't know. But it's not worth my $1. So I'm not going to do it. You really have to try to get into player psychology that way, though, when you're thinking about making a game like this. Yeah, so we got the white stag, we got the black sheep. So we tried to come up with like culturally relevant feeling names for these creatures, like the black sheep. You know what that means, right? The forest prince. That's one that that feels like sort of a mystical deer. You're just murdering everything in this game. Oh no! Heck no! Don't send me notifications. I don't let anything send me notifications on my iPad if I can help it, because I stream from my iPad sometimes. I don't want random notifications from other places coming in. Events have been unlocked. Don't care. What is this? Oh, so when we were first planning this game, I think we originally imagined that you would just get to, buy whatever upgrades you wanted at whatever time you felt like they were necessary. So if you're really good at the game, if you were good at managing the stability of your rifle, you could just never buy stability upgrades. That's fine. You're just really good at it. But at some point, the decision was made that actually, we need even more. That actually we need to make the player purchase these upgrades, even if the player doesn't need that level of stability, you have to require it in order to progress in the hunt, because otherwise players who were good at the game could just never spend money. And that just wasn't, how this game was going to work. So there you go. All right, so Raneth Cord, when he saw the lady again, was like, oh, hey, it's a lady. We better click on that. Yeah, no, exactly. Okay, let's go hunt again. Eventually, so I've just run out of money. So, are we going after the black sheep now? Cool, all right, we gotta aim for the heart. So, where are you, black sheep? There you are. It actually was amazing the amount I learned about sort of animal camouflage working on this game. Like, it's actually not that hard to make one of these animals disappear into the background. There we go. Killed a black sheep with a heart shot. And we got a bunch of money for it. Ooh, and we leveled up and we refreshed all of our energy again. Wonderful. So now it's old One Eye. Okay, so I could do the next trophy hunt, except I bet I really can't afford it. I bet that I can't rifle with 97 power. So, okay, so we could buy this power upgrade. That gets us the power we need. I think we also needed a stock, though, and we just can't afford it. So that's probably fine. I think I can go back to the regular hunting. So instead of trophy hunts, which is what's going to unlock the next area, I can go back to the regular hunting series, which I can afford to do, and I can earn some cash that way. So let's go back to this. Ooh, so this is a mature white-tailed deer. This is the same deer, but we called it mature because we needed more different variants of the deer in terms of their stats, their health, stuff like that, than we actually could model unique deer. So some of them are like juvenile or mature or whatever, and they end up, having more value and more difficulty. Deer? Oh, deer. There's a deer. Hello. Deer? Boink. Heart shot! Oh, but I need to kill 2. Wait, where's the other one? Crap. There it is. Ooh. I didn't notice it said 2. I mean, I think I even read it out loud, but it just didn't register in my brain that we had to kill 2. So I was not prepared to kill that second one. That was very lucky. So we got some cash. Let's keep going. Kill 1 whitetail buck with a lung shot. That doesn't sound too bad. Aim for the lungs. Oh, huh. Guess we'll do this. Hello. Lungs. Take that, lungs. Yes. We can do this all day. Next, 3 young California bighorns. So is this going to be the type where they charge right at me? It is not the type where they charge right at me. So I'm going to have to really make this work. So let's... 1. Bolt action. 2. Bolt action. Whew, okay. So each of these animals has got a certain amount of time that it takes before they recognize that a gunshot means they should run away. And so you've got this little window where you can shoot a second animal. But I think that window gets tighter and tighter as you advance through the animals. And also killing 3, obviously, is a lot harder than killing 2. All right, so guess we'll just keep on going. Nothing's stopping me from just hitting that bottom right corner again and again and again. Bottom right corner, bottom right corner. Okay, 1 young Sierra bighorn with a long shot. Boop, like that. There we go. This is just an animal massacre. Where am I keeping all of this meat? Yeah, this actually reminds me of a funny story. So when we were moving into Undead Labs' current office, which actually we're renovating it because we are too big for it now. But back when we moved into it for the very first time, we were determining how we were going to outfit the kitchen. And originally we had just 2 fridges in there, but no freezer. And I was like, Hey, I actually really like to bring like microwave dinners and stuff to the office, and just because really consistent number of calories, it's really easy to, it's a lot cheaper than going out to a restaurant. But I need to have a freezer to keep them in. So can we have a freezer? And apparently the reason they initially did not put a freezer in the kitchen was because somebody who was in the decision-making process had worked at a previous studio where someone went hunting, killed a deer, and brought all of the meat of the deer in like plastic bags or something to the office and completely filled the office freezer at a different studio, not at Undead Labs. Completely filled the office freezer with venison. And everyone was like really inconvenienced by that and kind of weirded out and grossed out by it. Because like somebody was apparently just really presumptuous enough to think that if they didn't have freezer space at home, they could just use all of the work freezer space, which is just a weird thing for a person to think anyway. And so my response to that was like, okay, I understand why you're averse to putting a freezer in the office in case someone does that again, but hear me out. Why don't we tell people not to do that? And let normal people keep their frozen dinners in the freezer. And if someone says, hey, I'm bringing a bunch of venison to the office to store in the freezer, we can say, don't do that. And then that person doesn't do that, and then the rest of us get a freezer. And that ended up being the solution we went for, instead of just saying freezers are not allowed. So speaking of lots of venison... Oh, this isn't venison. This is mutton. Speaking of lots of mutton... Heart shot. Okay, I've got a heart shot. Where's my bighorn? Where's my bighorn at? There it is, right there. Let's zoom way in, and... No! No! Ah! We're almost out of batteries now. Oh. All right, let's move. Let's try this again. I'm almost out of batteries. What are we going to do? Oh, no. Nope. Stop it. Okay, they're giving me a free battery. Fine. So, I'm hitting the lungs and the heart. And that was actually a problem we had to solve. If you're requiring a heart shot and the player hits the lungs, but they also hit the heart, does that count? We had to make sure that when we're sort of tracing the path of the bullet through the sheep, that we're actually making sure we're counting that like everything it hits counts. So like you'll notice it, and then afterwards it resolves like a heart shot's more valuable than a lung shot. So if you hit both, it counts as a heart shot. But if the game is looking for a lung shot specifically and you get a heart shot, it still counts a lung shot. And that's, that sounds simple to a human, but you have to actually think through all of that logic and program it in order for a game to pull off something off like that. So I think I've actually got enough money. I could probably go after the next trophy, but it's just so fun to murder sheep. So we got a lot. Okay, we got a lot of sheep here. And ain't a shot. Whew. So I really wanted to put like a... I suggested this. No one went for it for some reason. I wanted to put like a secret hitbox on the anus of the animal and credit the player with anus shots if they got anus shots. But unfortunately... for some reason, no one thought that was a good idea. Another suggestion that I made when we were working on this was we actually had this animator, a really senior animator from another team, come in to help, sort of... There's just so many animations you have to make for a game like this. We didn't have enough animation staff to do it all at the speed we needed to. And so we actually had a senior animator from another team come and guest. And he got all of his animations done much faster than anyone expected him to. And so he made one last animation, which was a black bear with a top hat and a cane sauntering in like a fancy man. And he made this animation. And I was like, please, please, please. Can we just have there be a 1 in 100,000 chance that when... You go to hunt a black bear. The black bear is standing there in a top hat and cane, and he's walking around like a man. And then the moment he sees you, he panics, drops the hat and the cane, and goes into normal bear mode. For some reason, no one wanted to invest the resources in making something like that happen. But I was like, this is the best idea anyone has ever had. It would have been so viral. People sharing their videos, thinking it was fake, whatever. It would have been great. I should say, by the way, so The team that worked on this actually is mostly from Hyderabad, India. We had a few people in the United States at the office that I was working at that were doing sort of like I was there. We had a fair number of people on that side, but like the art and a lot of the programming was all done by folks in India, by a team there that actually I got to go out there and visit them. I actually got to spend Diwali with them. It was a lot of fun. So that I think that a lot of the times studios will sort of take full credit for a game, like the internal studio at Glu, that built this, will think like, oh yeah, this is our game, without necessarily acknowledging all of the people from faraway places that might have contributed to it. Now, that studio actually was a part of Glu. It was an in-sourcing studio, which means you have a studio in a faraway place, but it's still fully owned by your company. And so it really was Glu that made it. It's not like there was an outside studio they needed to credit or anything like that. But I just like to call attention to the fact that it wasn't just a bunch of idiots in Washington making this game. There's a lot of really cool people that I got to know who worked on this, who were from India, and it was they did some really spectacular work. In fact, do I still have it? Let me quickly go to my home screen. Yeah, so my home screen, this art right here, this was made by Kishore Singh, who is one of the artists who worked on Deer Hunter Classic, and he's brilliant. So this piece of art was actually made for a game we did not end up shipping, but it's got this really nice spooky atmosphere. So he did an amazing job. He's a really excellent artist, and so I just want to give him a shout out. Kishore did amazing work, and so it's been literally how long has it been? Nearly a decade since I worked on this game. I still have Kishore's art as my home screen, or as my home screen, because it's just I couldn't find anything that was better. So let's keep going. So Kishore did a lot of the the concepts and the environments and stuff like that for this game. So yeah, the tank is suggesting that we could still do that fancy lad bear idea with a feral in State of Decay 2. Again, we also don't have time to make a bunch of random animations for that. We got better things to do, unfortunately. So we got to get a lung shot, huh? Well, why don't you just stop walking around so I can kill you? Oh, look at your nice sedated friend here. Lung shot! Ooh. Okay, so I could play this all day, but actually, I just heard from my family. There's actually a job that I need to go do upstairs, so let's wrap this up real quick. So thank you all for hanging out with me. So that is Deer Hunter Classic. I think we've all kind of seen how it works. I could continue playing for a very long time before it slows down enough that I would actually need to start worrying about my energy. But yeah, so that was what I was doing when Undead Labs was kind enough to take me seriously long enough to hire me and bring me on to State of Decay 2. To State of Decay 1, actually. I worked on the stuff. You all know my resume. Anyway, so that's that game. Thank you, Awesome Twitch Dude, for suggesting that we play that. That actually was a lot of fun. It opened up a lot of subjects that were fun to talk about. So, if you want to subscribe to my channel and see other weird games, go click that link. Or, these links over here that will exist for people who watch this later on YouTube. And I'm going to go help take care of my kids for a bit.